So in 2009, I believed that the city of Dallas essentially had two kinds of seafood restaurants. There was what I quote fine dining, which is put on pearls and heels, and you go out with a bunch of fuddy-duddy people, and you have a very
Surf and
expensive.
turf.
But
Yeah.
well, no, this was more like you could go get a very, very expensive fresh seafood meal.
Yeah.
Or you could get a cheap meal
Red
that
Lobster.
was kind of mediocre product.
Yeah.
What there wasn't was kind of doing away with all the. You didn't have to put on a. Better way. Why do you have to put on a sport coat and get a fresh piece of fish?
It took
in
the
Dallas,
pretentiousness
Texas?
out of it.
Yes, it was. It was either super snobby rich or crap. And I said, when you go, I was laughing. You go to a seafood restaurant in a landlocked area. You got the net on the wall, and it's Captain Willie's Chowder House, and "Arr, mateys, how are you doing today?"
Yeah.
Right? It's theme time.
Yeah.
When you go to the beach and you go or coastal and you go to a seafood restaurant, they don't have a picture of the beach because there's the beaches out there.
Yeah.
They don't have a net. You don't have to. It's just a casual, nice place you can walk in, and you just assume the fish is fresh. And I said, why don't we have that in Dallas, Texas?
So why didn't we have that in Dallas, Texas?
Because seafood is expensive, and the belief was that if I don't give people, we always call it like the seafood steakhouse, like Sinatra playing, giant Napa cabs in the wine cellar and wainscoting everywhere, and it's like just a steakhouse, but they serve fish, right?
Yeah.
And people thought if we didn't give people that experience, then they wouldn't pay the price points of what it costs to bring in fresh fish.
Okay.
And I think that right around this whole time is when we saw that great food didn't have to come in the fine dining packaging. And I think that is what liberated so many people and in this business.
Yeah, and you're identifying that period. Like it was basically the smartphone kicked it off, right? With our ability to get access to anything from this thing that's in our pocket, right? And everybody started getting curious about, especially around food, because restaurants around the nation are now on Instagram sharing what they're doing throughout the nation. You can see what your competition is doing all around the world. And it was around this time that we started taking the pretension out of the restaurants, but focusing on quality, but making it more approachable, right? So like your average Joe wouldn't feel uncomfortable walking into a high quality place.
And I think that I think David Chang was so ahead of the game on that, right?
Yeah.
I think it was a fine dining restaurant. Food is like well down the list. It's about the experience and about being catered to in the Downton Abbey, bowing kind of thing. It's it's almost like a class hierarchy kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of restaurants where you can go in shorts and a T-shirt and spend $500.
Yeah.
It's not. In no way would we want to forget the privilege of being able to eat this way. There are people who can't even figure out where their next meal is coming from.